I'll explain to you the different types of brass bands and then tell you why mine is it's not really unique, it's a different type of brass band. England has a huge history of brass bands, and that's because they used them in parades and everything, but they're a different formation and they use different instruments. They use E flat alto horns, they use different instruments, and their charts are written different. Like they'll have uh, 9 cornets and 8 trumpets. I mean, so they're a whole different ball of wax, and their music is written differently than ours. It's arranged differently because they have a different set of instruments. So when we started the brass consortium, what we did was we said, let's just do an American style brass ensemble. So we used symphonic instruments. We used trumpets. We did not use any cornets. In place of the E flat alto horns, of course, we used French horns or horns, and so we built it more around an American model, and that's why it's a little unique. It's a very large brass ensemble. Somebody should check me on this, but I do think we are the largest professional brass ensemble in the United States, and so that's why we are unique. The other thing we are unique about is we arrange most of our own stuff. There's not anything written for an ensemble this size, so we write most of our own material. After the new year, we have our 10th anniversary concert, which is on January 28th. And we will play favorites of all. So what we do is we go to YouTube and we see how many views we've had on YouTube, and we go to SoundCloud. And then we ask people to tell us what is your favorite thing that we do. So we come up with about an hour's worth of music of audience favorites for our anniversary concerts, and I get up and I give a whole bunch of details about how many things we've done in 10 years, and it's kind of a fun concert. It's all really great music, a lot of film music. And then on Sunday, April 28th, we're doing Celebrating the Oscars, where we will present film music from films that have been either nominated for Oscars or won Oscars. So we also haven't picked that repertoire yet because we have to figure out what we're going to, some things we have to write. But we have about 100 movie pieces in our library, more than 100 movie pieces. So the movie concerts are always our most popular concerts because, we do everything from the current all the way back to the classics, even back to Gone with the Wind and Wizard of Oz. So we run the gamut of all kinds of things, but we do a lot of current films too. If there's a film by James Newton Howard that has just come out within the last few years, we work a lot with the film composers, and they allow us to transcribe their film music for the band. So it's always very interesting stuff, very, very well put together, we hope, and very well played. We want them to just be surrounded in sound by the massive power of brass. I mean, it can be very delicate, it can be very loud, it can be very exciting. But it's fun that we can do all of this music and just do it with brass instruments. We have no strings, we have no winds. So we try to make the experience still as complete as possible. So you're hearing everything that you would normally hear without the brass ensemble when we do transcriptions of movie themes, especially. We also want them to experience a very wonderful ensemble, a brass ensemble, which is the colors and how we can do things. And, we can shove things into a brass instrument. We can shove mutes in there, or the horns do weird, interesting things with their hands. We can make different sounds with the instruments, the brass instruments. It's just not one sound. So there's a lot of flexibility with every brass instrument that we can do. Plus the percussion in the back, we have a whole gamut of percussion instruments, so we can do a very interesting percussive sound. And the harp also adds a lot of color. So we are hoping to always send the audience away with a unique musical experience, something they're not going to experience with any other ensemble. What do we look forward to when we're playing for the audience? Well, what we look forward to is to provide a new musical experience for them, and to have them to feel the energy coming off the stage of what we're doing. And hopefully, we're providing them with a really positive experience, musical experience, where they walk away and say, wow, that was something. And trust me, most people that walk away from one of our concerts are like, wow, it's pretty impressive. But we, as I said, we play very difficult music. And, it is a brass ensemble. And it's a brass ensemble that plays 40 minutes the first half, usually around 35 minutes, and 35 minutes the second half. And that's a lot for a brass player. So once in a while, there's a nick here and a nick there, because brass players don't usually play full on for an hour and a half. So it's a very interesting experience. Why must they come? Well, nobody has to come, but we hope they'll come because it is a unique ensemble. It is a unique ensemble here in Southern California. We are now, I think, after 10 years, we can say we're established as a unique ensemble. The level of musicianship is very high, and we just play music that people enjoy hearing. That's one of our mottos. We play the music that you like to hear. It's not stuffy music. It's all stuff that's recognizable. A lot of our audience loves it because they always go to the concert and they hear themes and they hear tunes they know. And we throw in a few oddballs once in a while just to spice things up. But like this concert, 90% of the themes you hear on this concert, everybody's going to recognize. So that's why it's always an enjoyable thing, because you're always going to come and hear music that you know. So I think we hope that makes a connection to people in the audience. So we are out in the community. We are out supporting the community, and we hope the community will support us in return. Well, we are the Southern California Brass Consortium. We are Southern California's premier brass ensemble. We are here to provide great brass ensemble music and to get people fired up about the excitement of going to a brass concert. And we're all about community here. And any high school or middle-aged student gets into our concerts for free. So we just really would like everybody to come and support us and to keep this very unique ensemble going. You will never be disappointed if you go to a Brass Consortium concert. It's always very exciting.